Me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Hi, guys. Welcome to my channel. Most of the times when you talk about healthcare in the UK, most people think it's all about it's all about a nurse, registered nurses, midwife, and mental health nurses. But when you are a medical doctor back home, you can also use this route to relocate to the United Kingdom on a free sponsorship. But most people does not have the idea. Even those who have the idea, they don't know how to go about it. So today, I have the privilege to have a guest with us who was a medical doctor in Nigeria. Yes, in
Yeah.
Nigeria, and she came to the UK and now practicing as a medical doctor. So she's going to take us through the steps, step by step, to make it easy and simple for everybody to understand. So, without wasting any time, because we have been waiting, I'll invite my dear sister. Tell us something about yourself.
Hello. My name is Showe Bature, popularly called Dr. Cho. Um, I'm a Nigerian trained medical doctor. I trained in Nigeria. I've spent my whole life in Nigeria. And I moved to the UK in 2022. And I'm currently working as a doctor in the emergency department in the NHS.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so if you're happy, can I call you Dr. Chu? If
Yes,
I don't
please.
mention the name, but call me. Let me know.
Everyone calls me Dr. Chill, don't worry.
Okay. So if you don't mind, can you share with my people and I how you manage as a medical doctor to relocate to the United Kingdom?
Okay, so um the journey to the UK for a doctor is a bit tricky. It has its own challenges as well. So I will just first of all talk about my own journey and how I came, and then talk about the normal typical routes that not everybody can use my own methods as well. So I came into the UK in 2022. I
Okay.
didn't go through the doctor routes per se. I came in with a student visa. So I came in to do a master's in public health. And at that time, I had already started writing my exams because before you can practice as a doctor in the UK, you have to pass some exams and have a certain certification and license in the UK before you can do that. So I had already started writing my exams. However, I wasn't very patient and I really wanted to leave Nigeria. So I decided to use the master's route instead. So I came into the master's in public health and I completed my exams along the way. And as God will have it, even before I graduated my master's, I already secured a job.
Oh wow.
And after I graduated, I just started working. So the exam route, like if you want to go through the exam, you don't want to do what I did. I really don't even advise people to do what I did because it was a very expensive and tedious process. So I would say just be patient and write the exams. That one is really more straightforward. The exam we usually write for international medical graduates. This is not just for Nigeria now. So anywhere you are outside the UK, if you want to come to the UK to practice as a doctor, you need to write the exam. So the exam is called PLAB exam. So it's Professional Linguistic Assessment Board exam. That's the full meaning of PLAB. And it has two parts, PLAB 1 and PLAB 2. So before you are eligible to take the exam, you have to make sure that the medical school you graduated from is on the acceptable list of medical schools by the General Medical Council or the GMC. So that's usually the first thing I advise people to do so that you don't just start the journey and face a roadblock. So if you are in the audience and you want to take the PLAB exams, please just type in the World Directory of Medical Schools. The World Directory of Medical Schools. You can go in there, you will see a search bar, type in the name of your medical school and see if your medical school is on that list. If your medical school is not on that list, sadly, you will not be able to write the exam. You have to message GMC or go to their website to find out if there's any other way you can, come to the UK. Because if your school is not on that list and you go ahead and write the exam, sometimes they won't release your results, or they will not message you halfway and tell you, sorry, you're not supposed to be taking this exam. So you don't want to be in that situation, all right? So that's the first thing you need to do. Make sure that your university or medical school is on that list and you are eligible to take the exam. Now, the second thing is to write one of those English exams. So you have to provide a proficiency in English exam test results. So it's either the IELTS or the OET. I personally did the IELTS, but most people do the OET because it's a bit more medically inclined.
Flexible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the IELTS, to use it to write this exam, you need to have an overall band score of 7.5 and at least a 7 in all the modules. So in speaking, listening, reading, and writing, you need to have at least 7. While for OET, you need to score at least 350 in all the modules. So
That's big.
once you get that, you can now go ahead and book for the exam. Okay. So PLAB 1 can be written in your home country or wherever you are based. I can't remember how much it is now, but it's quite costly. So it's about 200 and something pounds, like in pounds. So you can convert that to your currency. It's an MCQ exam. So that one is usually very straightforward, MCQ, but they test you on a lot of things, everything from basic to clinical, everything. It's 180 questions and it's for 3 hours. So it's a very, very tedious exam. I usually say that step is usually even the hardest step. So yeah, really reading. You have to read your books to be able to actually like attempt and pass the exam. Now, the cutoff mark is varied from exam to exam. So there's no really set cutoff mark, but it's marked over 180. And they usually say try to get at least 130. Okay, then once you pass your PLAB 1, you can now go ahead and book PLAB 2. Now, you cannot book PLAB 2 without passing PLAB 1. So once you pass PLAB 1, you book for PLAB 2. PLAB 2 is more like an OSCE type exam. So you have stations, different stations. There might be patients. They might ask you to do an examination or write a prescription. So many different types of stations there. The exam is also 3 hours, and there's 18 stations in total, 16 main stations and 2 rest stations. So to pass that exam, you have to pass 10 of those stations and then beat the cutoff mark. The cutoff mark also varies from exam to exam. So you really don't know. So just prepare very well. There are so many materials online. The GMC website has a really good baseline for you to start with, and then you can join academies. There are so many academies online. I personally did Key Points Academy, really good academy. And then you have mocks that you can use to prepare and kind of have a feel of what the exam would look like. So once you are done with that, and you pass your PLAB 2, you then go ahead and do your EPIC verification. Now, EPIC verification is just simply put verifying your certificates. That's what it is. So you verify that your primary medical qualification is legit. That's all. So all it does is that they usually send an email back to your university for them to confirm that they actually gave you that certificate. And then once they send you back like, oh, it has been verified, you can now go ahead and do your GMC registration. GMC registration is usually online. It doesn't waste time at all. It's a very long form, so you have to be meticulous and fill it very well. Once you are done with that, they will now send you a list of documents that you need to provide. Now, the list is, I think it depends on your school, but for us in Nigeria, I've noticed it's the same documents across board. So they will ask for your verified primary medical qualification, which is your certificate. Then they'll ask for your IELTS or OET results. Then they'll ask for your international passports. Then they'll ask for proof that you've done housemanship. So that's another important point. You cannot write this exam if you have not done housemanship, which is like your internship year. Okay, so you have to have done your housemanship because they're going to ask you for a form to show that you've completed that. Then after that, I think the last thing is a certificate of good standing. Certificate of good standing is gotten from your licensing body. So for us in Nigeria, is the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. So you apply for a certificate to show that you've not had any disciplinary action, they didn't strike you off the register, you've not had issues with police or anything like that. So that's what that certificate is for. Then you send it back to GMC. So once they check all your documents and see that, okay, this person has passed these exams, this person has all the documents, you are good to go. They are going to now tell you that you are registered and licensed to practice in the UK. So they usually send you an actual certificate. Me, I've still not gotten my own because I changed address. But they usually send you like a hard copy of the certificate that you can use. But most of the NHS jobs don't really ask for it. They just want to check if you're on the register. If you're on the register, that's good enough for them. And that's it. So once you are now fully registered, you can now start applying for jobs. In fact, most people start applying for jobs once they've passed their exam, because most of the companies or the trust in the NHS they don't care. They are looking for doctors. Forget about what people are saying. They are really in need of doctors. Yeah, it's just that the application process can be tedious. Okay, so I started applying after I got my registration. Mine didn't take so much time. I started applying, so that was sometime in June, and then I got my job in October. So I
And you
applied
started
for
working.
quite some time.
And when did you start work?
I started working in November.
Oh, that's not long time, because I had my I wanted to change hospital back in 2022.
Mhm,
I did an interview in December 2021.
mhm.
Had a job that same day. Had the offer letter in February.
Sounds typical.
Had the offer letter in February. I started working in April. Yeah,
Oh
25th
wow!
April. Yeah.
Oh wow!
So they told me, yeah, you've gotten the job that day on the before the interview ended. I had
Yeah.
the job. By getting the offer letter,
No, mine
NHS is
they were
NHS.
really quick. They were really fast. I think it was because it was an actual need, and I think that was one of the advantages I had because they wanted someone that was already in the UK. So because I
Oh,
was
okay.
already there, I just threw that into the mix and was like, oh, I can start tomorrow, sir. And that was how I actually got that position, honestly speaking, because I had been applying and getting unfortunately's and stuff like that. So I think even the application process itself is also an exam on its own. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah. That we can talk about if you guys have questions about that. But yeah, this is the long and short of it. The whole process from IELTS, PLAB 1, PLAB 2, then the actual registration, and then job
So
hunting.
when you started talking, you said something like, if you know, with nurses and midwives, I mean, when it comes to mental health nurses, when you start your exams, you don't need to check whether your school is. All you need to check is your NMC, your home NMC need to verify that truly you have PIN, you are
Mm-hmm.
registered with them. But when you were talking, I heard you saying that you need to check online to see if your school qualify for the exam.
Yes, yeah. So that's one of the major differences for us as doctors. They will still check to verify that you are registered under a body, you are registered under your licensing body and all that stuff, your PIN and everything. But the first point of call is if your university is even approved in the first place. So
Oh,
I don't know if it's the same for nurses, but all medical schools have what they call an accreditation. So if
yeah.
your school is not accredited to graduate doctors, you can't write the exam.
Oh, okay.
That's
But
basically
in
what
my
they
home
check.
country, your school needs to be accredited. That one.
Yes. So that's what the whole World Directory of Medical Schools check. So if your school is not on that list, you're not eligible to write the PLAB exam because they will tell you that they don't recognize your certificates.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if even if I've written to, like, I've taken my required English exams, I've taken my PLAB 1, and then I start with the registration. Then they'll tell you, are they going to pay
Yeah.
me my money back?
No. That's why I say you have to check first, because they're not going to pay your money back. They're just going to send you a very long and sad email to tell you that you've wasted your time. I actually know someone that happened to, and the guy spends hours, days, weeks trying to sort out the problem. Like, it was not even a funny thing. What saved him was that, I think, as at the time they were now checking again, like as at the present time that he was sorting out the process, the school has now gotten accreditation. So that was what saved him, because GMC said that we don't recognize this certificate. It's not given by any medical school that we know. So sorry. Started writing and appealing. He wrote to his university as well, because he had already taken the first exam. And they won't refund you your money. That's the truth.
There is money, time, resource. Yes.
They won't refund you your money. So that's why we usually say check first, so that so that once you know that this is not even for your school, you can move on to other options. There's US, there's Australia, there's Canada. There are so many other options, so that you don't waste your time and resources on this part that will have a very massive roadblock at the end. So that's why that's what we should do first. I remember checking when I was in medical school. That was when I checked my own. Just so that I'm sure of what I'm doing.
Just to know you are not wasting your time. Okay, so regarding when you completed your medical school back home, did you work there at all, or you didn't?
Okay, so my own post-medical school journey too is also very funny. So normally you are supposed to do your 1 year housemanship or internship, which I did.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2018. I did my housemanship in 2019 / 2020. Then there was the whole COVID. So I stayed at home for a while, but I started working again, private practice. I was working in private hospitals because I could not go for service. Okay. In those days, NYC was not compulsory, but it became compulsory after some time. I don't know why that happened, but it was compulsory for us. Although some people actually just abandon it halfway when they are ready to travel or something like that. But I stayed now and did my NYSC. So I was actually already working as a doctor before I traveled. So that doesn't really stop anything. The truth is that even if you started working, you can still write the PLAB exam. Just that It depends on how many years you've been working. For people that have worked more than 10 years or so, there's another route that they can take. Yeah, so they have like these specialty exams that you can write that can just, you skip all these stages and just go straight to a middle grade or something like that. You won't start at the bottom because that's where we are starting from. So if you have spent more than 10 years in practice, I suggest you look into the specialty exams that you can write that will just move you straight into the specialty. Yeah, but for people that are just new, once you finish housemanship, I feel if you know that you want to travel, that's when you should start. Don't waste your time doing anything. Just start and move, because you are starting at the bottom with these routes and it doesn't take anything from you. And when you get here, you still start all over again. They are still going to teach you everything. When I started working here, I felt like a novice because I didn't know anything that was happening.
Yeah, I've been there before. Because even back home, most of the equipment we don't have. So when they mention it, it's like
you're like,
we're in a new world.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question is, looking at Moneywise, the amount you were receiving as salary, the benefits back home and the benefits here. Do you think it's advisable for someone to travel from his or her own comfort zone to this stressful unit?
The truth is, yeah, I don't know if we have any Nigerian doctors in that comment section, but they know. It is not even a joke. See, I worked somewhere once that they didn't pay me for 3 months. 3 months, no salary. And the funny thing was that it was a government hospital. So it was not like it was one private place that somebody was just... So the government hospital, I was like, what the hell is this? I can't keep doing this.
I can't be doing charity work.
This is not funny. What do you mean? And when I was doing my NYSC, my salary in those days, doctors used to make a lot of money. Hey, my salary was not up to 100K
Hey.
a month. It was not up to 100K, and
So
like
how
I
much
was
is
working
100K? How much is 100K in pounds?
in pounds now with the current exchange rates. With the current exchange rates, that's not up to £100.
Okay.
A month. That is a month. Yeah. So the truth is that we're working even more hours, 24 hours shifts, 48 hours. When you work weekend, you work from Friday till Monday morning.
Yeah.
You get so the setting is totally different. So I think if you are looking at it monetary wise, yeah, you say, oh, at least here you are spending in pounds, blah 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 blah. We agree, but it's a considerable leap compared to what you are earning before. Because even in Nigeria, yeah, with your small salary, considering the kind of life you'll be living, me, I could not be cooking every time. When I would spend 48 hours in the hospital, when would I cook? Sure, I will buy food to eat. I will finish work. I will not come and start washing clothes. No way. Laundry. Before you think of all those expenses, the salary is gone. Like I was a doctor in Nigeria, moto and no get. I could not buy a car. I could not afford it. Do you understand? So even if you compare the money you are making and the cost of living where you are, it's
No.
still, it doesn't equate. So if you want to think about if it's worth traveling, I'm beating my chest and saying it is worth traveling. Like the start salary for a doctor in the lowest position right now, yeah, is £34,000 per annum. That's this small because you can hear them protesting and going on strike every now and then. You see us, we don't used to talk too much because they're like, oh yeah, strike, we need more, but we know what we are getting. Do you get it? In comparison? And like, you
Yeah.
people don't even know what's going on. We're not getting made shishi. But it's still a considerable sum. Yeah. So for people that come directly through the PLAB routes, that after they finished their exam, they got a job that gave them COS, sponsored them from Nigeria here. I know people that even took loans that paid back the loan in 3 months. In 3 months, they were done. They paid all the money back. Because if you are converting to Naira, that has
It's a huge.
nothing.
You're a
Jiggy, that's
billionaire.
nothing. You do understand? Yeah, a millionaire. So take that loan, invest that money. When you come here, you'll be able to sort it out in the shortest period of time. It's just that you need to put your heart and mind into it, that you're not going to be, as how would I put it now? It's not like you're going to build a mansion once you start working. You have to take your time. All right. But I don't think there's any doctor I know here that is working as a doctor that is not living well, at least. Do you get? So most of the couples I know, even my friends, my classmates that came before me, I know one now that has a house in the UK now. Don't buy house, buy motor, send car to his parents in Nigeria. Safe, you know, it's a good deal in the long
Yeah.
run. Yeah, the first few months can be really challenging, yes, but in the long run, it's worth it. So make that investment. Anywhere you want to travel to, be it US, UK, it takes a lot, but it's worth the investment. That's the truth.
Okay. Okay, so we've talked about the financial part. Coming about other benefits, like back home, you can see it's stress-free. Close to see friends here, even your next door neighbor, see him or her. He's going to work for money because he came for money.
True.
So don't you think traveling to the UK is not worth it? Because back home you're a doctor by title, everybody respects you, although you don't have money.
True.
Although you don't have money, but everybody respects you. And here nobody respects you, especially the patient, their relatives. Nobody care about you, even your own colleagues.
Mm-hmm. So
Especially,
I think everything that has advantage has disadvantage. That's just the truth of the matter. So I'm not going to lie here and paint the whole abroad thing as the bed of roses, because that's not true. Yeah, it has its own challenges. Like you've already mentioned, you don't know anybody here, you don't have friends, your family they are far away. The beauty of it is that if you make enough money, you can decide to be going to Nigeria every year. that takes care of that problem. Yeah. There's also the thought of work-life balance. Try to find a way to inculcate some other things into your life that's not just work related. That's one thing that I think most Africans struggle with. This one is not just Nigerians, because I've met Ghanaians as well that have this exact same problem where we're always worried about taking shifts, extra shifts, more shifts. They can work 7 days a week if they are allowed to, because we have that drive to just make money. We have a lot of responsibilities, people to take care of at home and stuff like that. But if you strike a balance, yeah, it takes a lot out of that pressure and depression that comes with just being isolated in the UK. Yeah. And then there's racism as well. I've been called a black monkey before. I've been told to go back to the jungle. A patient has literally said, "Can I get another doctor, please?"
Oh, yeah.
So it's there. You can't even run away from it. It's very obvious. And then there are the other people, our Oyibo counterparts, that they also, sometimes it's not really like obvious. There are the micro ones that you can, see and experience sometimes, but you just have to find a way to push through it, because there's nothing that you're not going to be the one to suddenly just change it overnight. That's not possible. Yeah. So it can be challenging as well, especially to your mental health, to even the way you just feel in general. And then there's always this thing at the back of your mind, like, shey, if I was at home, nobody would be talking to me like this.
You can't talk to me like that when I'm in my
You just have
country.
to find a way to just push through and just focus on what you are working for, what you are aiming
Why
for.
you are here. The
Exactly.
reason.
Why you are here. Let everything just fade into the background.
So what will be your last words before we start with the question and answers? What will be your last words to my people? Like someone back home, someone who also wants to come back to practice. Maybe the person is in this country, but doing care or doing other jobs. I know doctors working in warehouse now. I know about 3 of them. So what will be your last words to them?
Yeah, I think that's one part I didn't really talk much about, because when I came here, like I said, I didn't come with as a doctor. I came with a student visa. Yeah. So I had to work as a support worker. I'm sure I was all over the news a few weeks ago because of that.
The Nigerian doctor working as
You understand? And the video was popular on YouTube, even on my TikTok account. A lot of comments. Hello, doctor. Then there were a lot of encouraging ones as well. But that's to show that, I don't think any of us are alone in that aspect of, working in a capacity that you are not even supposed to be working, to be honest. But it's a phase. That's what I would say. Like, I'm sure most of the days that I came back from my support work crying, or the day that they must have head-butted me or scratched my hand, I know how much it felt like, Omo, this is the end for me. Oh, there's no hope. It's over. I've cried many times, just thinking about it and wondering, if my condition going to change. And then now, look at me now. I'm working as a doctor now, and I'm like, there was a time.
And my time is now.
Do you understand? And I'm even more like empathetic towards the support workers I work with now in the hospital, because I'm like, I know how it feels like. I've been there. Like, I even there was a day that I actually had to help one that was trying to change a patient and stuff. I was like, oh no, I know how to do this. I've been there. Because it kind of like puts things in perspective. Yeah. So it's not, whatever job you are doing at the moment, don't look at it as, the end of your, just take it as a phase, focus on the exams. And it is doable. It's possible. There are a lot of help everywhere. Yeah. So connect with people that are on the same journey with you, which was what I even did. I had a lot of doctors in my class as well that were not working as doctors. Some were doing security work, warehouse, care, so many other things. But you are trying to raise money to survive, to write your exams, and just to move on in life. So
to pay your bills.
So don't think of it as the end. Just the exams are doable. You can write the exams, and then make connections, connect with people, because they might be the ones to help you at the end of the day and link you up with the job that might just take you out of where you are. So
Yes.
that's it. Focus on the good things.
All right. Anyway, thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.